So, my friends, welcome to a new crypto update video. Today it's about two altcoins, namely Genome, Octon, and Vita Dio. These are decentralized science coins, or decentralized science, as one might say, which have taken quite a hit in recent weeks. I believe I gave you the first update on them in November last year, around October or November. After that, these things exploded tremendously. And now we're back to where the buying prices are. That's why I thought, okay, I'll make a little video about it, because I just thought, okay, now might be a good time to draw attention to it again. It is a fairly new area, to be honest, but it's also an interesting area. Plus, they are both low cap. So please remember, they are low cap projects. They are not perfectly integrated projects that have been around for years. So that's a very, very important point. If you're interested, feel free to write it in the comments below. In general, also other low-cap projects or projects that simply interest you that we should take a look at. Before we start, feel free to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And of course, feel free to join the free Telegram talk and signal group. If you're interested in updates, news, and signals, feel free to join. You can find the link for it for free in the video description. If you want to buy something like Vita Dio, for example, you can do it all with my partner, Exchange Binks. Currently, there are up to 11,500 USDT in rewards if you register and do a few things like registration, KYC, and so on. So the link for that is in the video description or comment section. Yes, let's start with Genome. Genome has a very, very low market cap, I believe only 20 million by now. We had the project presentation back then in this area, I believe in October, at the latest November, where ultimately this price explosion happened. Let's take a look at it. It really went up to the top by nearly 1,000%. So that was really intense back then, that it went up so quickly. I don't know how many of you invested, but in any case, 50% should have been out by then. Yes, just as quickly as this hype came, it went down just as fast. And by now we are even below the entry price. But the thing is, through the strategy that I keep telling you about, firstly, after 100%. Take out the initial investment. So that means after 100% price growth, we take out our initial investment. Then only the profit remains. So that was also the case here. And then you can just take the few X upwards and everything is fine. So that means we are now below our entry. We are not in the negative. We are simply just with the remaining profits. The remaining profits have simply become less. That's actually a pretty good way to put it. I'm actually considering waiting a bit longer here before identifying further buying zones. I simply can't determine further buying zones at the moment. Yes, hold on, because we simply don't have any support below, or because the coin is just too new. That means I'm probably just going to wait a few more weeks here until Bitcoin has somewhat stabilized, and then I'll probably get back in here. Otherwise, for those who haven't invested in such projects at all, this is a low cash project, so accumulate with a significantly smaller amount, because then we would be at the first buying zone, for example. But there are no further buying zones, which I will share in some future video at some point. In any case, this is Genome. The potential is definitely there because this sector is very, very undervalued or still has bull run potential. Course number 2 is Vita Dio. For example, it is also available to buy on BingX, also decentralized science. I believe I introduced this project to you around this time here. I think August, September or something like that. This also led to the hype, triggered a bit by Binance here as well. If we take a look at it from the very bottom to the top, here too it went up 600%, same game, take profits and done. In the meantime, we are somewhat back to the entry level, and this is currently the only option where I would say, okay, you can accumulate a bit here. It doesn't go lower because we have no reference effects from the past. This means it is an absolute high-risk asset. Both assets are high-risk assets. You need to be aware of that. With enormous potential, that's the other thing. They are low caps, but they can also fall significantly lower. So these are the points you need to know. It was important to me to present the projects here again, not just once, and then they fall into oblivion. That is important. So feel free to write down below whether you are invested and what you think of such projects. And bull run? It's also difficult here. If another run comes, I believe these are still somewhat the insider tips. Nevertheless, the strategy remains a 100% price increase. We take out our initial investment, and with that, we are safe. And now in the end, such things don't bother us. So for everyone who invested back then, it doesn't bother us anymore because we are still in the profit or just have a little less profit. Feel free to write your opinion below and also your further altcoin requests. That's it from me. I wish you a nice